Welcome back, Build Stuff. We are continuing our talks, and next on stage is Dmitry Razorionov. He's asked me to shorten his presentation. He's a VP at a big corporate, and he's going to talk about hacking the corporate. So corporate talking about hacking the corporate. Also, the photo in my bio doesn't match out, so we can just hope it's the same person. No way of authorizing that. So let's hope. This is Dmitry on stage. Let's give him a round of applause.
Hacking the corporate. Hey guys, I think that's, first of all, thanks for being back to the physical events. This is awesome. Second, I understand that these cameras are digital, so forever who's watching me live, like, thank you. It's Thursday, it's probably the third day, right? Yeah, you've met before, you spent the whole day yesterday, you spent today, so you're like a little bit tired, to be honest, from the content. So I'll soothe you a little bit with the information. And yeah, I work on Corpo. I work at EPAM, and I've been with EPAM for 19 years. And today, it's a deep story, because when I was invited, I like cyberpunk. When I saw all these neon lights, I said, like, look, this is a cool theme. I've been growing on the Cryptonomicon. I've been reading Matrix, so you see my age in there, right? It's not these neon hotels. It's pretty much down to the console. But every cyber story is not about the technology. It's actually about the people. And every story needs the one. And today will be the story of hacking one person mind. A true cyberpunk story. Through the 25 years of engineering and 7 years of his career in EPAM. This smiley guy was the CIO, and Yura, sorry for using you and abusing you on the stage. We have not talked about this one. I had not sent the copyright, so hopefully you forget me, but that's your story. His first day introducing him into the organization when he was the operation officer for a massive company, much bigger than EPAM. Imagine EPAM is big, right? It's a monolith. And then it's a bigger corporate. So when he joined, he was like, relax, I know it all. And then he's been doing for a while the jobs of classical information officer, which means go to the corporate, assess their tools, chop off the costs, make sure it's all productive, get the bonus, retire. Classical career. And then after some of the days, 3 months, usual onboarding, he literally sent this picture to our CEO with the phrase like, are you nuts? Are you just like chopping the elephant? You're missing the big piece? You guys, public company, why on earth you have so much engineers doing the internal tools? I mean, like, it's cost ineffective. Why do you have it so separated? Why do you have the people software, HR software, delivery software, data software? Like, why? We're a service company, right? We should be doing this for Google, our customers. We should be doing this for Microsoft, our customers. Like, what the hell are we doing? And he got a really, really, really good answer to Arkady, our CEO, how to build it right, how to build the stuff right. And then he got this. That's our CEO, a real paint for this picture, saying like, no, you don't understand. Really, you don't understand. And this picture shows our company growth. It's boring. I know you guys programmers or engineers or were engineers like myself. So this is what everybody's seen. Like, we started far, we grow, we do products and consulting. I'll tell you what's behind the scenes. I will tell you how much we've been building for 25 years. So we hacked Arkady, making him on the reaction of this. And then we'll see how the story evolves. I am pretty sure that the next slide will blow somebody's mind, because when we speak about the corporations, usually never ever speak of it like an IT, right? Like an architecture, but we do have the architecture of the company. So this small neon chart is an actual up-to-date version of the platform that we work every single day in our company. It has this boring funnel, which is we are guys here, right? We do the delivery and productivity. This is where we build. And the rest connects people, their desires, their ambitions, their skills, their appetites, and the demands from this side. an opportunity to solve somebody's problem. You all came here to learn something because you want them to solve some problems. This is how complex to get you a match. This is how typical marketplaces are built. Upwork, TopTal, Accenture, EPAM, all of this. What's we different, and this is how we always thought about, is the data layer that should be hackable by our people. The lesson number one, and maybe the sharing of number one, is that the more openness to the people you give in terms of data, and no, the world is not doing this simple. There are regulations, there are compliances, there are different ethics of storages, them in Switzerland if you're from Switzerland, and in Russia if you're in Russia, and in China if you're in China, but the data is the key. And the hacker is not a bad word. Again, I've been reading all of these cyberpunk movies and the stories back all days. The hacker was a free person who can use the information for the advantage of the one. And then if to be a loyal hacker and has those elements, maybe you can create a cooler people systems, a cooler workforce ops, maybe something even more crazy. So let's do a little bit of deep dive of hacking the hacker's taxonomy. A good engineer should start with the market. Market of taxonomies and skills is so big that we in company just grabbed a virtual team. Again, the data was there. And then some smart chap said, look, why on earth we have a project which requires, let's say, Lambda on edge computing. And then a person who sent in their CV that they know this have absolutely nothing in common on the data. That was the truth, because usually this is how the operations is working. Somebody is connecting, it's called your manager that scans the job, see yourself, meets each other. That's boring, that's not IT stuff. But to do so, we had to introduce the language, and this language was skills. We could use the third party, but we've decided that, look, this is not our way. We want to build it. Literally, we want to have this taxonomy as our core DNA piece. Because we are, as a company, operating on humans. And humans are the blood and veins and the bags of competencies. We produce things by our knowledge, right? So we want this structure to keep and maintained and contributed internally. Plus, the world is so fast, so we had to be smarter and faster than the rest of the industries. And we've created one more architecture of the component. Imagine those, remember this bigger picture, one small block, this is the depth. And this is where the cool things start to happen. We hacked, and by word hacked, it's a different meaning. We grabbed a very smart team, no rules, one room. At that point of time, it was pre-COVID, when everybody believed that one room can solve it all. The same team is still doing fine over 6 countries. And they've created an MDM, which is like maybe boring, right? It's master data management. How cool is that? But we use the visuals that fancy that everybody started to feel that this software is nice. It's interesting to play around. So data, openness, and then the great UX transformed the mentality of the very important but never spoken in the enterprise things that everybody started to talk about this one. They wanted to contribute. They started getting together to assemble what is the knowledge of new technologies, how they to match. Can we retrain this person, that person? So they started to think. And that's, by the way, the momentum when the technology drives humans, like cyberpunk. See the vibes? This is where we started to change organization by a software. Just nice UX, just openness of data for everybody. Then we said, look, we have the problem. Houston, nobody likes to maintain their profile, otherwise it's LinkedIn and the hope for work. But in the corporate, usually the profiles are the least described things ever. But we want to know more about their people. So what we used is the inferred concept of data. we all code something, right? When we code, we literally, when we commit, it's understandable that you use this technology or that technology. When somebody do a pull request, merge, review, and etc., and it's a good sign, that means that you're okay. If you do it more and more and more, faster, less churn, you're even cool. And you had to do 0, so the system will know that you're a cool person in this technology. We surely need to filtrate the stuff. Because somebody can just do a very poor code review, somebody can do a very code over there, it happens. So we had to apply something which still on the edge of not really understanding how this works. Natural language understanding from the commits, what does it mean? And then we've built sort of the systems to play around, can we extract the CVs to skills, commits to skills, code review to skills, assessment to skills, all of this to skills, just to digitalize ourselves. And this is where engineering won over the pragmatists. We spent 2 years on implementing models, because it's cool. I mean, who is still programming in this room? Can you raise a hand? Wow, all right. Who is dreaming to do the ML programming? Who is doing the ML programming, by the way? Anybody? Super. Kudos. So, and you know how fancy it may sound in real life, then you combine the facts into something mean. It's actually pretty like steady work. There is one point, like don't over-engineer what's been built by another corpus. Trust me, Google, because they have a very, very simple thing. They want to extract the mean from your search to do a proper advertisement, spend billions on ML models that transform text to mean. And they literally published it up. So we had to hack ourselves, our thinking from the company, and I've been already probably like 20 minutes speaking that we want to engineer, we want to build, we don't want to buy. That was a mistake for AI. Big mistake. Instead, we could leverage Google Vortex, we could use the GPT, we can use all of the frameworks that are in the world, absolutely massively supported by a cool infrastructure. No company on that list that you will see on the ads, right? No sponsor and partners of this organization can do the infrastructure like the big corpus, like the big four. Facebook way to assess the graph of data much faster. Google's way to store it everywhere is much leaner. Amazon, not that much, but the IBM, they have a great Watson engine. So lesson number 4 is open the data, do UIs, socialize this one, and then don't rewrite the basics. Leave infrastructure to corpus. You will benefit from the speed. You will still be a cool engineers because to use those models, that's the art. That's the complex art, but you won't spend time of just programming the unneeded stuff. But the results were there, so I think almost 1 million skills digested over a couple of months means that we literally created a virtual digital twins of everybody in the company. Sounds very spooky, right? We are spying for our people. Not really, right? Because by learning that somebody is really coding in their spare time with the technology that may be on the trend for the customer, we connected the desire and the needs, and people started to be happy. We saw the correlation between the attritions and the happiness, the satisfaction, and the better matching. And again, it was a technology. So when we showed this to our customer, everybody like, oh, you guys crazy. Like, I mean, seriously, you've programmed the parsing of the people events into the skills and then use the skills to do the matching. It just sounded engineering coolness. And then when everybody said that they can do your digital transformation, we actually just showed this. That was the digital transformation. We hacked ourselves. We hacked our manual processes by doing this. That's just one box. Let's continue. We still have some time, right? So then, for me, it's interesting. So when we speak of blockchain, when we speak about the NFTs, most of you guys will just feel it, right? You will, yes, it's a simple truth. For me, it's tough. For me, it's just like to be a little bit older in this industry, I had to get used to these new words. Because for us, it was the logical, immutable chain of people careers, what we call the skill link. Right now, it's better described as the NFTs of events that we store in a blockchain per person, which is an asset of a person in EPAM. Corpors, and by the way, this is the common theme across the globe, corpors are losing the grip to control the data of humans, which is a cool thing, right? Nobody likes when their data or password gets stolen. But we're totally submitting thousands of things to Google, to Microsoft, to Amazon every single day. No need to rebel, that's fine, they're still on the compliance and etc. But this ability to claim it back, to be able to footprint that this is my career and it's not belong to EPAM, it doesn't belong to Accenture, it doesn't belong to anyone. It belongs to you, keep it. Was possible, but they used the right technology, which is again cool. We are engineers here, we like build stuff. So we use the skill link to really create a little bit of meritocracy. And meritocracy is, if you're doing right things, you're going up. In a big corporation, it's usually a frozen middle which can really stuck you down, that if your manager does not get what you're doing, you literally have a squeezy way to either go outside of manager if you know who to talk, or you're going out. Or you have the technology that stores your coolness of your commits or your reviews, just the usual stuff. We don't interfere with the people. And then bring you into the small box. I know it's barely readable, guys, but there is a small boxes over there, here, that says you know lambdas, or you know travel domain, or you've been involved into the consulting of here and there, because that's a keyword. And then everybody can access this information. And when a customer calls in and say, hey, we are in the restaurant post-COVID business, we have no clue how to organize the supply chain, and we need some sort of a trusted partner, whom do you have? A typical companies do like this. An account manager picks up the phone, he knows somebody, somebody knows somebody. If they know this domain, the deal is good. If not, there is a big email, hey guys, do you know anybody? And this can take long, and then you lose the customer, right? With this, the meritocracy floats in. People saying, I know, they're visible, then being caught, and this is the social responsibility. Another theme of the cyberpunk, right? The ethics of being not afraid to stand in front of the big world. And this is what's been built by these networks and the logistics skills and people appearing in the boxes just because they know something. This program, and there is a similarity to the Facebook way of drawing this one, I know. I won't even pretend that we were innovative on this UI, but we're somewhere here. We've built data taxonomy, and remember lesson number 1, the data should be open. We built a taxonomy. We did a design, and the design in a bigger meaning rather than just the UIs. It's the usefulness of accessing to this data, so it gets more and more popular. And we're getting here. And the goal is to literally have a forecast, which is the acceleration of the proper putting right people to right spots, is meritocracy through the value networks, when people are not belong to some organization to do cool things, but just grab together by the knowledge. Like in this room, we probably can create a startup or two, right? Who cares whom do we do report to, which company is being paid for if we have the cool idea, right? That's hackathons. We want to have everybody productive and fair, and we want to give this information to the people, and we want to scale it to the programs. And that was just the small box, remember, this taxonomy. Right? Anywhere. I won't be speaking too long. It's actually on the same event last year or year before, our VP of Technology, CTO of EPAM, Pavel Veller, did a very deep immersive speech on the Anywhere. And Anywhere, in short, is a dream to get all those services to everybody on the whole earth. And before the COVID, we struggled with the pushing backs that, hey, it's not possible, right? Nobody works from home. It would be ineffective, you won't be able to find talents, there will be no performance, blah, 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 blah. Now it's all different. So having a platform when people can search for jobs was essential. And it's a cool technology stack. We hacked our system n times. At this point of time, the definition of a hack was give a freedom for people to select the best stack they wanted. It's anti-logical, if you will. Because we're largely on Microsoft shop. We're largely on the Amazon, on the Azure clouds, we use all of the Office 365 and etc. and etc. But the guys wanted to do the AWS. They wanted to have a serverless, really edge technology slice just to play with it, because very little percentage of big customers are eager to be the first one who will try the full native stack. They're afraid. Maybe it won't work, right? Maybe it's a lock. Maybe it's something. We said, okay, let's hack ourselves. Let's just build it. Massive results. So lesson number 4 or 5 is you create all of this, you socialize this one, and you probably will benefit by being native. Will definitely business benefit by being native. You will be faster. You will have much more interesting talent who would just like to play with the, let's say, the cloud front for the multi-tenant delivery. Or Lambdas on Edge, which is like a very interesting beast. But it doesn't work, by the way, with the multi-tenancy, so we had to use a little bit of Kubernetes and the EKS for this one to be a little bit more scalable. All these cool words. And by the way, it's server-side rendering. It's fully on React. We're using the best technology on the world, which is now JavaScript. Sorry, Java. Sorry, .NET. Sorry, guys. I'm from Java, by the way. So I'm shooting my leg off. But this is the cool island of hackers within the company. I'll move on. So we've created all of this platform. The key here was to get the data to the humans through the APIs, because we had to be a little bit more secure and a little bit more protocoled in a way. Because there is good hacker and there is a bad hacker. It can be unethical to use all of the data. We can shoot the personal information to their own people. So we had to create the layer that gives a little bit of a control. And that worked, because then the people grabbed and said, look, we've built the talents pool, we create the data systems, we know the skills, but are we productive? And guys created what's called the Delivery Central, which is like a meta app that has all of the information pieces about our programs, projects, productivity, teams composition, builds it in the Uber kind of concept that delivers to everybody the clarity what company is doing. So that's the last probably definition of a hack, is to be able to get the learnings through the means of data for everybody. And then I think that this goes into creating of so-called digital fiber. By the way, this is a macro image. You can use this link. Sorry, I haven't put the QR code in there. Next time. That's the physically created digital tapestry. Like I have a short which adopted to the body size. This guy is even cooler from the MIT. They've created the learning short, which get used to your body temperature and etc. etc. Cool hacker stuff, right? It's scary, right? You have the living IT organism on you on the tapestry. But this analogy is to have a very robust adaptive data layer, and this is what typically in the enterprises, because you have silos. Because usually the data platform of enterprise is when you have tables back in the era when the internet was not that cool like today's world. Then you have this challenge of the canonical data models when you create types, and then somebody creates the another types, and then you have the zoo, and then you start to create the data swamps, data ponds, data lakes. And then you kind of create this canvas, if you will, when the structure and unstructure can live together, when there is this open catalog, when there are APIs, and everything can start to be more ordered, if you will. So again, we use the same principles. Open data set, nice UI, everybody's reaching to the objects, they can study what's the relationship. It's actually cool to see EPAM's data through the real-time graph, to see how complex it can be to operate on the scale. This demystified the question that, hey guys, like why do we have so many operations in the corporation? Because it's complex, but it's also transparent. It also gives the way to do a little bit of a quality control, and it also gives the way to use even further AIs atop of this data mesh. And throughout some of the last years, I've spoken to you about the API for the skills. We also do the expert search, we do the matching of people again. They will to study something. We need to find the right job for them, otherwise they will be gone. They will join the conference, they will hear that somebody's doing what they want to do, and they will go to the company, but not that good. So instead, we as a big company can have an opportunity. So we're right now a 50,000 company of people. We have literally 50,000 types of job. There is no like same job. It's usually the nuances that plays, and the matching is the coolest thing that the corporate can give to the people for being this transparent. We create internal kind of analysis where we're good and where we're not that good. We give this picture and you see that the journey is just to be started, because this is what usually not that instrumented because it's relational. And it's all down to the ethics, something that AI cannot do. But internally, we can use all of the signals to make people's career shiny, to make it automatically understandable where you can go, how you can grow, whom to talk if you want to get the information, what's the community around this one, what's the educational purpose, all built around the skill set of a people desire, and then the demand, and then the capabilities that we have. We brought this down to the every individual through the apps. We have mobile apps, we have all of these interfaces, and it's 25 years of building this up. Now, this is a snippet for last year, so we have 9 billion of the messages in the system. We've built internally almost 200 apps. We have around 1,000 people working on this platform. Right? So when you hear about EPAM, and it's usually it's body shopping for everybody. It's like 1,000 people implement this cool stuff. I've spoke to you. There is a contribution because we have the internal open source and external open source. It's the freedom of experiments, and then it's actually write your own story, because we praise this ability for people to grab together and do some value for a company. So we literally hack the typical corporation policies. And with that, just a little bit of a summary. Live infrastructure to the corpus. You will just, like, if you started to be a serious IT game, right? Either you're a service company or a product company, let infrastructure be managed by these giants. Let the power outages be their problem. Let the change of the world and the split between the ocean, then when the pipes are broken and you can't access the content, be their problem. Let the AI and Exceler be their problem. Use the business benefit and implement the layer on top of it. And learn new words. We are programmers. We think that by coding we're doing something good. But ethics, bias, humanism is something that appears more and more when we start to work with very smart programs that can think that the Eastern Bloc is wrong, and maybe we should not pull the work in the Eastern Bloc and rather go to the Western Bloc because of some facts, because of the news. Or maybe somebody with the, I don't know, eyeglasses is not good for this type of job because of the correlation of the multi-scans of the facts. And it's all counter-human, right? So when we do an AI, when we do this on the cool infrastructure, when we code something, we need to understand that we're more and more interfering with the humans. And it's much more psychological, ethical, and compliance and biased rather than the technology. Technology is there. And last but not least, the animation really hacked. Build. We are, and this is nothing to do with the company, we are right now at the world which falling and cracking apart, which literally may change the way how companies think of the data. It may be the Americas will be one world, and then the Europe will be the second one, the wherever will be in Asia will be the third one. So the global corporation may not exist. Sorry, Cyberpunk, it not happened. And maybe they will need more software, their own, and so build. Try, combine, fail, but build. With that, you will be able to reach the ecosystem, the metaverse, and this will hack our guy, the Yuri. Remember, that he is right now the head of operations and products of EPAM. He sells this as our IP, and every time we spoke, he said, look, over those months when I thought that this is boring crap, it's actually the hack of my mind that engineering can be so cool, then 60,000 people can be part of it, like a big organism. And when we're saying that we will do the digital transformation, we really build this up, right? We build stuff. With this, thank you very much. Questions? Questions?
Yeah, questions for Dmitry. Let's wait a moment. It was pretty clear, yeah, but yeah.
So you said that your people working in a company became happier when they were chosen according when they were assigned by their skills, right?
Not necessarily by the skills. When we figure out that somebody is doing something which is not necessarily their formal expectation. Let's say we have a backend engineer, but he really wanted to transform into the front end, right? So on his current job, he's doing the backend, but then he's contributing to the open source of EPAM on the front end, and he's writing really cool code. Then we know the signal. It's just a signal. Then use the word ethics, right? We are not judging by data. It's impossible, guys, right now. I warn you. Just don't use the AI-driven decisions yet. It's not done even like in 1%, but you have the signal. And the signal for a manager to say, hey, is it interesting for you? And they said, yeah. I'm actually quite bored with the backend stuff. And again, we were living in the overly demanded world. We just simply put this guy on the front line and he was happy.
Okay, it kind of killed the question. Thanks.
Hacked the question. Okay, so any more questions? A colleague that was talked about in the presentation? Want to have a comeback? No? No? Okay, so I just want to be clear, what was your role in this whole process, this long process of getting this chaos into some order? What were you doing exactly?
Let me use as Job said, there is one great interface of a human, a finger, right? So that's mine, in quotes, the taxonomy and skills, the architecture of anywhere, drawing this crazy chart and presenting this for 4 years within and outside of the company. I'm pretty much, I'm from the product, guys. I can't work on this kind of an organization level. I like to build. So when I heard about the conference, I was like, yeah, can I come just a little bit, like tell the story? And everybody who's in the second row just, don't tell that much. Sorry, I hacked you, so I tell a lot. That's what we're building. Nice.
Yeah, so it actually sounded not only as hacking the corporate, but also healing corporate in a nice way. So that's a compliment. And if we don't have any more questions, do we? No? All clear? Okay, then a round of applause for Dmitry. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Again, a coffee break, and I see you 10 minutes to 4 o'clock. We'll be talking about enabling public cloud for clients in a public sector.